Okay, so this was a flight I did out in Oahu just a couple weeks ago in January of 2026. Flew out of Barbers Point. Barbers Point Flight School over at Kalaeloa Airport. It's a really good school. I flew with Blake Miller. They've got some great planes over there. We flew 541 Lima Charlie. It's I think it's a 2020 Cessna 172S, a G1000, autopilot, all that stuff. It's a very nice airplane to fly. They're really reasonably priced over there. You'd think Hawaii would be ridiculous, but pay about as much for the 172S as we do over here on the mainland. So when we were flying VFR out of Barbers Point, or out of Kalaeloa Airport, VFR, we wanted to head to Molokai'i. So to transition the Class Bravo space, they really just cut you straight down through Waikiki to the west. So this is a lot of just cutting through Waikiki, Punch Bowl, the H3, you'll see the H3 here, H3 at this point. And on the left side of the plane, we're kind of going past Honolulu Airport. So a couple of decent views of the Honolulu Airport as we're transitioning through. And it was just a great view. It was a little cloudy this day. We were able to just get just above the layers as we cut through Oahu and got to the other side. And then as we started crossing the water, there's a little storm we kind of saw there. And we were able to stay under, and we headed for Molokai'i. Here we're kind of getting to the island and cutting across. Molokai'i has a small airport, so we kind of went south of Molokai'i and then got past the hill and then headed north to the airport. Over at the airport, we just did a touch and go, and then made our way towards Molokai'i North Shore, and this is where we were kind of headed. The North Shore's got spectacular landscape. It's really dramatic sort of bluffs that just fall straight down into the water, all except for this little peninsula that you see there. This little peninsula is Kalaupapa. There's a wee little airport there. Some very small strip, like about 2,500 feet, 60-foot wide strip, but Kalaupapa is an old leprosy community. Just a few houses there, and it's only really reachable. I don't think it's reachable by vehicle. You have to either hike there or boat or fly. So now, this is getting some footage of the bluffs there to the that's kind of looking south. So we're just off the peninsula, and it's just really spectacular. These are all volcanic islands out here, and the speculation is that this half of the island just fell into the ocean, leaving these really dramatic and spectacular bluffs. A lot of little waterfalls when it rains pretty heavy. I think we see one or two as we're going down past this, but it's just so untouched. You can't really get here again except by some pretty intense hiking or by boat. So just very untouched environment as we fly past it. It's just really beautiful. So I was in the left seat. You got to prove that you're in a little GA plane, right? There's the obligatory wheel video. But I was in the left seat. Blake's in the right seat. So we make a nice little turn here. We'll go back around, and I really just kind of leave it recording because it's pretty amazing. These are some of the highest cliffs that go straight into the water, I guess, in the world, is what I'm reading. They're 2,500 to 3,000 feet just straight down. This is kind of the northeast side of the island of Molokai'i, and the water was really kind of banging against the rock, so a lot of the spray and the white soapy looking splash down there right by the rock. So I just kind of leave this run here for a while because it's pretty spectacular. This was more sort of a joyride. We, done some training with Blake and had just finished a couple of ratings. So this flight was more, hey Blake, I'm here. Let's go do something fun. Apparently, this is what he would do for while he was banging out his cross country hours. Was take a flight from Barbers Point up to Molokai'i and do a touch and go and fly around these bluffs and then head on back. And there wasn't any traffic. There's a boat here somewhere we see, but that was about all the traffic we saw. But wow, it just looked like the waves were really banging against the. I think that's a little waterfall right there, a little black line. The waves were, you can see in some places the waves looked like they were pretty heavy duty or pretty high. Yeah, I think we were kind of hanging out right around 2,000 feet MSL, which is basically AGL at this point. Blake was telling me that if you take some of the helicopter tours will actually fly up into some of those crevices and let you explore a little bit. We weren't really up for doing it in a little 172. So now we're getting a little bit closer back to Kalaupapa. So we'll cross Kalaupapa, kind of heading to the northwest, so to speak. In Kalaupapa, there is I think it's a volcanic lake. It's this extremely deep sort of volcanic hole, about 800 feet, I guess, deep is what it is. But I just thought this was really cool here because the way the waves are kind of hitting these rocks, or the water's hitting these rocks, and make it real spectacular. Yeah, just amazing. You can see Kalaupapa up there to the right, and these rocks jetting out were just pretty cool. There's a boat there too, kind of following him. That was about the only traffic we saw the entire time. somebody had commented that there were not a whole lot of good emergency landing opportunities here if we were to have an engine out. Barbers Point, when you're over the water, which is pretty much any time, you take a water kit with you, which has a raft and life preservers and a flare gun. So it wasn't great options, but if we would have had some sort of event, we at least had some things to keep us afloat for a period of time. And we were under a VFR flight following too. The Barbers Point Aviation School, they've got a good website out there, but I looked around at some other schools or places to rent planes, and a lot of the other places didn't really have newer planes. They were older planes. I don't mind an older plane, but I kind of like flying a newer plane whenever I can. Barbers Point has quite a few 172S's, and again, they're very reasonable. They're about the same as what you pay for a 172S here on the mainland. Might be a little bit of a waiting list, but again, Blake, the chief instructor, has been pretty helpful to kind of get me up in the air. So I'm going back over to Kalaupapa here. Here's that little community. It's a very, very small community. Again, the water looks very dramatic there. It looks like the waves are pretty spectacular. So now we're just going to head kind of northwest, and we decided we would go back to Oahu. We're going to go up on the east side of Oahu, past Makapu, and we're going to go to a place where they filmed some of Jurassic Park. We go over top of Kaneohe, which is I believe a Marine air base. I think this is just us coming up on sort of the west side of Oahu now. I zoom in at some point because I can kind of see Makapu Point where we do some hang gliding every once in a while. I think that's this here, off in the distance. It was just lovely out. So the clouds are always kind of at the peaks of the mountains, but we were able to kind of stay above or below. So this is us coming up on Kaneohe, the Air Force Base. There is a little, looks like half of a crater, so to speak, but that's part of the Air Force Base. And then here we can kind of see the actual airport for the base there. We weren't talking the tower, and this is a Sunday, and the tower closes on Sunday, so we were just making our CTAF calls. The trick of flying around Oahu, it's a Class Bravo down there by Honolulu, but there's quite a bit of tour traffic. You might or might not see when we kind of do the rest of this flight, we're following a couple of helicopters, tour helicopters. So there's a bunch of protocols that you need to follow and kind of learn of who you should be talking to, some of the calls you should be making, because there are just a lot of courtesy calls and communication between aircrafts and some coordination. It's a pretty busy airspace, and I don't mind flying with an instructor. I think this is the 4th flight I've taken. And again, I'd rather, pay Blake to ride with me, help me out on the radios. There's, again, a lot of protocols for who you should be talking to. There's a lot of, your transitioning airspaces all the way around Oahu. There's Kaneohe on the west side, and then once we get to the top, we are talking to Wheeler. There's a Dillingham. There's a bunch of little airspaces. Whereas you transition, you want to be talking to them because there's activity, there's skydiving, there's military. So it's a pretty busy airspace. I don't mind having an instructor with me for these flights. On this one, again, it wasn't really a training flight. It was he and I just going out and having some fun. So right here, we cut to this little area. I forget the name of the park, but it's on the sort of the east side of Oahu, and this little valley that we cut through is apparently where they filmed a lot of the first Jurassic Park. So this is kind of us approaching that little cut through. You may not be able to see it, but there's a helicopter in front of us that we're following along with too. So as soon as we get to this little space here, you'll see, kind of zoom in on it. But this is just really beautiful too. Again, here we're just on the east side of Oahu. There we go. So now we're inside and we're cutting through this valley. And it's just really spectacular. It's beautiful. You can see there's all these little roads down through there. And apparently they do a bunch of tours, the Jurassic Park tours. And just spectacular. Oh, the name of this park is Kualoa Ranch, I believe. Kualoa Ranch. Again, just on the east side of Oahu. It's just lovely. We kind of get back out of the valley and then we just start flying up the coast again. The landscape is just, it's unreal. Doesn't look real. It looks like Jurassic Park, basically. So here's another little valley, kind of around that same area, that Kualoa Park Ranch area. I don't know if it's all the same park, but same area. I think this here is Kahana Bay. And it's usually kind of brown, but it wasn't bad today. And I think this is coming up on it's Punaluu. I think this is what this area is. And I'm not much of a beach or water person, but you can see most of what I film is not the water; it's the terrain. So, but the water is when it's in there, it's pretty spectacular looking. The colors. It's just beach all the way up through here. A lot of this you can just drive right up through here too, and it's a pretty lovely drive. It's if you wanted to, you could take a day and just drive around the island of Oahu. You can do it in a day. Then we're coming up on a set of windmills. You can see at that one point, and oddly they weren't really moving. So there wasn't a lot of wind this day. It was a great day to fly. The one time we did this before, we just got bounced around constantly. So here's where we get sort of more to the north of the island, and the waves were just really off the hook. They were banging away. And it ends right here at Turtle Bay. Thanks for watching, y'all.